by film.
Five,
Stand by music.
four,
Stand by announce.
3, 2, 1.
And fade up.
They're the Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks of hops. American public, you are worthless.
Can't account for taste.
Nice. Your teaser from earlier on the loose adaptation.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
Shove that Pulitzer Prize square up your ass.
I'm so happy.
I'm as best as you're gonna get, ladies. So here you go. We have. Shut up.
Then it's not a fork! Masturbatory bullshit. I get the joke now.
Hey,
Stupid,
kids.
wonderful thing. Yeah.
Here's some stickers.
Are you in the crosshairs of the woke mob?
To the bridge of Kazakh Doom.
What is happening in my mouth?
Pumpkin spice lattes.
I was the mark?
You were the mark, man.
Yay. You want to get high together? You want to drink?
Cinema.
Subterfuge, machinations. Wow.
Wow. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right. Well, welcome everyone to a brand new episode of 20 Years, 4 Beers. We are a podcast dedicated to rewatching movies from at least 2 decades ago while simultaneously enjoying a minimum of 4 modern beers. My name is Steve, and this is my big brother,
Tim.
And we are coming to you from just outside the very kingless Minneapolis, Minnesota. Obviously, there's no King's Day today.
That's
It'll
right.
eventually release in like Christmas time by the time we get there. In this new episode, we will be talking about a global phenomenon of a book to film adaptation in 2006's The DaVinci Code. Before we begin, though, sometimes as usual, we end up talking about recent watches. I mean, obviously, we're going to talk about one thing here. I don't need to talk about Mercy. You know, I mean, it's like,
Mercy.
I think we're kind of talking about one thing. So,
Yeah, I have nothing else.
Yeah, we watched Project Hail
Went
Mary.
to the theater.
Yes, Tim went to the theater.
It's been a long time.
Yes,
And
and
I don't know the last time I went there.
as with many other people, went and saw the
right.
adaptation of Project Hail Mary. So we're going to talk about that for a few minutes here. And Tim, what were your thoughts on it?
So just a level set. I had listened to the book.
Hold on.
Sorry. Is it okay?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah,
Okay.
you're fine.
I listened to the book like soon after it came out. It's like, what, 2-3 years ago?
Listen to
or
the
something.
book.
Yeah, because I was like driving to work. And so I'm like, well, I can just have the background. And the audio adaptation of the audiobook is incredible.
Yeah.
Because of the sounds that they can add to it. I'm curious on the book side, just reading it. Anyway, it translated so well. And I remember being like, how are they ever going to do a movie out of this?
Yeah.
And it absolutely delivers across the board. For when the trailer came out, I was like, oh, they got all the right people in this. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
Just awesome. And we kind of commented after that it's exceedingly rare to go see a movie, because we saw it with, you, me, Ellen, our kids, and mom and dad.
Yeah.
So 3 generations.
This is the first time we've ever done that. Yeah.
Outside of
the last movie we saw with mom and dad, I feel like would have been Narnia back in DC.
Last year. Yeah.
Well, no, like in DC.
Sorry. In terms of we covered it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It's like 21 years ago or whatever that we would have had
I don't
something
recall.
similar.
Yeah. See, and I'm usually pretty good about remembering.
No, right?
The
I don't
theater
know.
experience.
And they were excited because they had read it. Anyway, it was just.
Well, they listened to it. I'm the only one who's actually read that book.
Yeah.
That's
But I
fine.
mean, like, all of us knew what we were getting into, and all of us were super excited. Ellen and the kids obviously had not read it, and so they were fresh to it. They loved it. And so if you're a fan of the book, you will absolutely love this movie.
Yeah.
And if not, you haven't read it, I think you'll still freaking love it. Ellen loved it. So anyway, it was so freaking good, dude.
Yeah. I think you're welcome. I think that's what I think.
Yeah, that's the thing. Oh yeah.
I think I posted on Threads and, a few people saw it, but it was like, there's just certain movies that are sort of like bellwether experiences. And for whatever the reason, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's a surprise of a movie. Sometimes it's just a great experience. Sometimes it's just who you're with or whatever. And I wasn't surprised at loving this movie, especially with the reviews coming out. And, the look of it. And I wasn't surprised that I loved the movie. I was surprised at how much the experience was for not seeing it in IMAX. Like we had seen Oppenheimer in IMAX, and obviously we'll see Odyssey in IMAX. And to not see it even in like fake IMAX or the HDX, or like we saw it on the smallest possible screen.
It was so tiny
in comparison to what else is out there. And it's like, but it's still to have the experience, and the sound wasn't particularly wonderful in the theater. No. Like none of it was. So I mean, it does make me want to go again, but it is kind of that bellwether movie of, I don't think we'll have that experience with the Odyssey later this year. I'm sure the Odyssey will be fine. It's good. But like, unless it really blows my socks off, this will be the best experience of the year. Yes. If not the next couple of years. Yes. And it's been 2 years since Oppenheimer. And 2 years. It's kind of like that was, and even then it had been a few years since the last one, so I just feel like it's that. And like the visuals are amazing. But I will say, like, you can count on maybe two hands the number of actors or actresses, like just two, male or female, who can command over 2.5 hours of every moment on screen. Like he is not on screen. Yeah, he is always on, or in the scene that's on. Exactly. And make it look just effortless. He just made it look like I mean, it's like when you watch Brad Pitt in Fight Club and you're like, oh, I feel like less of a man, thanks. And I think that's Gosling in this. You're just like, oh, okay. I got nothing on you. Yes. Gosling's terrific in this.
So good.
Yeah. I mean, I kept thinking, like, imagine having to choose between this film and Dune Part 3 from a visual effects standpoint later this year. Right. Like, I mean, Dune 1 and 2, there's no reason to think that 3 wouldn't be as impressive. Yeah. So now you got to pick the visual effects winner for the Oscars next year. Good luck. Like, this is just like this movie was incredibly visual. It was incredible. It's one of the best adaptations I've ever read, and I don't read a ton, but like, because like Ready Player One, we liked that movie, but that was a disappointing adaptation in comparison to how great that book is. Yes, I do like that movie, but it's just very different.
They didn't make changes.
Yeah. So anyway,
it's such a rare thing that we go see a movie, and truly, it's like I will recommend this to everyone.
Everybody. Yeah,
there's
a few people online that have issues, but they're, you know what, they choose to. Yeah, they're the ones who are just like, you chose to be negative about this.
Yes, it's just a delight, edge of your seat. I knew what was happening, and I was losing my shit because of some of the intense sequences, and I'm like, how am I so on the edge of my seat? I know what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great,
and we can't. The last thing I will say, we just can't overstate the importance of a physical Rocky.
Oh my gosh.
To have a physical presence of Rocky, and to have one of the best voiceover performances that's probably ever been put on. Yes. To the point where people are talking about finally adding an Oscar there should be a combined Oscar for best voice performance of the year, male or female, just best performance of the year. Yes. Voiceover. And he's so good.
James Ortiz.
Ortiz. Yeah. He's so good.
So good.
Did you know that, did we talk about this? Like, he was the puppeteer. Yeah. The main, there's like 6 guys. He was the main one, and he was not going to be the voice. No. And they were like, this is working really well. Yeah. And they just were like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, this is the guy that should be the voice. And it's so fantastic.
It's great.
I agree.
We could have we did Oppenheimer on our own. I feel like we could have done our own show on this one. Yes. But family's got in the way. All right. Well, as mentioned, we are going to rewatch The DaVinci Code. The film centers, as most films do, on a Harvard professor of symbiology, Dr. Robert Langdon, who was brought in to assist on a murder investigation at the Louvre. He very quickly finds out that he is not there to help, but is actually the prime suspect. Langdon goes on the run with the help of the victim's granddaughter, Sophie, and the two must find the killer by solving one clue after another along a trail of hidden messages, religious zealotry, and secret societies, all centering around one common person, Leonardo da Vinci. The murder is not the only secret they uncover, and soon they find themselves face to face with a secret that could upend all of humanity. Nice. The film is directed by Ron Howard, adapted from the Dan Brown novel by the inexplicable Oscar winner Akiva Goldsman, and stars Tom Hanks, Audrey Tautou, Jean Reno, Sir Ian McKellen, Paul Bettany, and Alfred Molina.
If you guys were the inventors of Facebook, you'd have invented Facebook.
This is a social network.
You don't have to be an intellectual property expert to understand the difference between right and wrong.
Where we take a look back at the critical and fan reception from 2 decades ago.
Mark!
As usual, Tim takes point on this, so take it away, Tim.
You better lawyer up, asshole, because I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming back for everything. $1 billion.
The IMDb rating is 6.7 out of 10. I did look. That's one of our kind of, not lowest per se, but like we've had some 6.2, 6.4.
That's the fan one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I know like the
critics panned it left and right.
Yep.
Speaking of that, Ann Hornaday of the Washington Post said the most controversial thriller of the year turns out to be about as exciting as watching your parents play Sudoku. Peter Travers of Rolling Stone said, spoiler, there's no code to decipher. DaVinci is an absolute dud. A dreary, droning, dull-witted adaptation of Brown's religioso detective story. But then surprisingly, Roger Ebert gave it 3 out of 4. Said while the book is a potboiler written with little grace and style, it does supply an intriguing plot. Luckily, Ron Howard is a better filmmaker than Dan Brown is a novelist. With Tom Hanks as a theo-intellectual Indiana Jones, Howard follows Brown's formula: exotic location, startling revelation, desperate chase scene, repeat as needed, and elevates it into superior entertainment.
Yeah.
And Academy Awards that year, not surprisingly, no nominations.
Yeah, I think we'll get into it here a little while. I've definitely watched this more recently. I think it was a couple years ago that I watched it because I bought it on whatever sale, or 3 for $10 or whatever it was on Vudu. Excuse me, I got the burps. I like that. I mean, we'll get into it a little bit later, but I like that review from Raj of just being like, this is not. It's not where you didn't sign up for a Best Picture winner. You didn't sign up for, like, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but that's actually a kind of a calm review from Raj, considering Ron Howard had come off of Beautiful Mind and Cinderella Man, which I like better than you, but still is a vastly great movie,
yes,
in my opinion, and could have been an Oscar. It was on their radar because Giamatti was nominated, but like, you just sort of go, this is, you know, and but like, this is, it's on. You kind of think he would hate it, but actually, I'm impressed that he was.
I was very surprised.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. All right. Well, there we go. We're going to pause and rewatch the movie. If you are so inclined, go right ahead and watch along with us. If not, we'll see you on the other side of this break. Here now is the DaVinci Code. If I edit it, otherwise you'll just come right back into the aftermath. That might be a clip. We'll see how it goes.
Yep.
This is an old wives' tale.
The original one, in fact.
There's virtually no empirical proof.
He knows as well as I do. There's much evidence to support it.
Theories. There are theories.
Notice how Jesus and Mary are clothed. Mirror images of each other.
The mind sees what it chooses to see.
And venturing into the even more bizarre, notice how Jesus and Mary appear to be joined at the hip and are leaning away from each other as if to create a shape in the negative space between them. Leonardo gives us the chalice. Yes. Oh, and Robert, notice what happens when these two figures change position.
Just because Da Vinci painted it doesn't make it true.
No, but history, she does make it true. Now, listen to this. It's from the Gospel according to Philip.
Philip?
Yes, it was rejected at the Council of Nicaea, along with any other Gospels that made Jesus appear human and not divine. And the companion of the Savior is Mary Magdalene. Christ loved her more than all the disciples and used to kiss her.
But this says nothing of marriage.
Well, actually, Robert...
Actually, in those days, the word companion literally meant spouse.
And this is from the Gospel of Mary Magdalene herself.
She wrote a gospel?
She may have.
Robert, will you fight fair?
She may have.
And Peter said, did he prefer her to us? And Levi answered, Peter, I see you contending against a woman like an adversary. If the Savior made her worthy, who are you indeed to reject her? Yes. And then, my dear, Jesus goes on to tell Mary Magdalene that it's up to her to continue his church. Mary Magdalene, not Peter. The church was supposed to be carried on by a woman. Few realize that Mary was descended from kings, just as her husband was. Now, my dear, the word in French for Holy Grail.
Le Saint Graal.
From the Middle English, sang Real, of the original Arthurian legend. Now, as 2 words, can you translate for our friend?
Sang Real, it means royal blood.
When the legend speaks of the chalice that held the blood of Christ, it speaks, in fact, of the female womb that carried Jesus' royal bloodline.
But how could Christ have a bloodline unless...
Mary was pregnant at the time of the crucifixion.
We begin our discussion with our reaction segment that we call Spotlight.
This is Boston, and the church does not want them to be found, so they are not there.
This is where we highlight and discuss our top takeaways of any kind from rewatching our subject film.
We've got 2 stories here. We've got a story about degenerate clergy, and we've got a story about a bunch of lawyers turning child abuse into a cottage industry.
If there were 90 of these bastards, people would know.
Maybe they do.
This is Spotlight.
They knew, and they let it happen.
All right. Well, welcome back to 20 Years, 4 Years. We have just finished rewatching the DaVinci Code. I got to get back to my notes here. At some point, I'll actually update these. That's fine. Finished rewatching DaVinci Code. And as usual, we start with our Spotlight segment, where we cover the highlights of, or I guess our initial thoughts of the film. Tim, what do you got for Spotlight?
Well, you mentioned before you had seen it semi-recently.
This was a couple years ago I bought it. Yeah. Yep.
It's been
20 years
probably. But I'll tell you my fun story about this movie.
Yeah,
so,
what do you got?
Against me, I go, oh, great. So I had the luxury of going to Australia during my summer grad program of 2006, oddly enough. Yeah. And so I'd read the book. All people, it was all the rage.
Yeah. Everyone but me read that book.
Yeah, you're like the only person that didn't. So, I'm flying there, and the whole thing like, okay, you fly 15 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You land
that's all right,
in Sydney, and they're like, basically, you got to stay up as long as possible.
Yeah.
So we had like a lovely tour. That was the first time I had like a mocha, like espresso, just like totally body clock out of whack. And evening rolls around, and it's like I got some hours to kill. Fine. So, person my grad program and I were like, let's go see the DaVinci Code.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say, not a great idea, because
really,
I remember the book being like, boom, boom, boom. I am hooked. Sitting in the theater like, oh, fuck. Oh, God.
And
like
on jet lag?
Yes. Yeah. Like just flown half around the world. And I remember actually in the theater like slapping myself because I was like, no, gotta stay up. Like, damn it. Yeah. And so I always have a special place in my heart for this movie of like, not a great option for trying to, stay up. But I would say it's been a long time, certainly.
Yeah.
And I would say probably a pretty negative impression of the movie.
Yeah.
From like a hindsight type of thing.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
No.
It gets a bad rap.
I know when I bought it and I texted, I know I was watching it and I texted you back in the day, a few years ago, and I was like, DaVinci Code is way better than people give it credit for.
Yeah.
That does not make it a great film necessarily.
It does not. No.
But it is substantially better than people who are like, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Actually, I'll start off on that.
Yeah.
It is weird to think about how big of a controversy surrounded this movie and the book at the time.
Right?
Like, especially given the last 12 years of our, like, I mean,
yes.
You just kind of go, yeah, man, this came out in 2006. 08 would have been Obama.
Yeah.
And then 8 years later, we get, FDGT, or Donald J.
JT.
FDJT.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, boy, what a simpler time.
Right?
I miss the days where we would boycott Harry Potter, not we, but as a group, Harry Potter and the DaVinci Code were like the problems, or 50 Shades of Grey. They were the problems in the world. And all we had to do was, so it's weird to watch this movie and go, because they had to delay the release in India and like around the world because there was so much controversy. They delayed the release, and it was like not by years or anything, but just by weeks until it kind of cleared. And people like imagine being so upset about a fictional idea.
Yeah, it's filed under fiction. And say nothing of the fact of what 5-6 years, how many years later, like Spotlight wins Best Picture, which is about the like pervasive sexual abuse of Catholic priests.
So by the way, I watched that last week again.
Oh, I gotta watch it. Yeah.
Love it, man.
Yeah. So you're like, I agree. Like you think back and you go, really?
I know.
And honestly, watching it doesn't come across the same in the book. I'll say,
no.
But watching the film.
Okay, no.
And I'm like, you don't know shit with that, but like, it's actually highly respectful and kind of reverential to those who believe.
Yes, they go out of their way to actually way more than Dan Brown ever did.
Dan Brown, like no,
I've read. So I have not read the book cover to cover, but I've read enough to know that Dan Brown's not a great author, and I've read his other books, and he's not a great author. He's a good idea man.
Yeah.
I always remember, and I don't know like word for word, but in DaVinci Code, when early on Jacques Saunier is murdered, catalyst of the story, not a spoiler, and he says like he couldn't see, like Saunier couldn't see who was killing him, and then the very next paragraph it talks about how he sees the red in his eyes, and you're like, but you just said, you couldn't see him, and now you can see the red in his fucking eyes. Like, what are we doing here? Like he just Dan Brown's not a great author.
No.
But he's a good idea man. Yeah. And I look at this like, just imagine getting so mad about this, but then you watch it and it's yet again, it's an example of like controversy that people don't watch. Yeah. There's been so many of those over the years that I didn't write down, but even probably just recently, you haven't seen what you're boycotting.
Yes. What you think is terrible.
Yeah. Yes. If you actually were to see it. It would not be what it is. And it's always religion. It always is.
But it goes out of its way to like say, there are like crazy sects of these sub-religions.
Yeah, man.
That don't represent
weird, dude.
The larger just
So I look at this and I go, this was a controversial movie?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
It's so stupid. Speaking of that, like so it's fine enough in the novel for what I think he was trying to go for. It never made sense why they had Silas as some albino.
The albino thing is weird. It just feels like he saw an albino when he was sitting in some cafeteria or some cafe in London.
Yeah.
And wrote it in. It doesn't make any sense.
And it's more fleshed out in the book as far as like how he was so ostracized by society and all these from. But they do a good enough job in the movie of explaining how he came to be under the guidance of this Opus Dei, priest. But it didn't have to be like that.
No, he didn't.
It's really stupid.
Yeah.
You watch it and go, it just doesn't make sense. And it's just like he's creepy enough as a individual that he would like be off-putting to the nun that he sees later. But yeah, when you watch it and you go, no, it actually is kind of like really, really stupid. So yeah. Speaking of that, also there's no need for this actually a lot of stuff I have that's good about the film. But like, so yeah, right away. It doesn't make sense why they have this whole claustrophobia thing with Langdon. It doesn't come in later as like a plot device where, he's in like the whole armored truck, but he doesn't.
The only thing I think they kept it in for, because it doesn't and I haven't read, it comes into play, I think
definitely the lost symbol.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
But it's like, it comes into play in some of the books. But in here, it does come into play of him saying, maybe you healed me of my thing. The only reason is to talk about at the end where she says, like, maybe your healing touch brought me, maybe. Yeah. And so I do think, like, because otherwise there's no plot device in any way, shape, or form to have him be claustrophobic in the movie. Yeah. It works in the books and it comes into play in the other books later on. Again, being the only one, the only one I haven't read is DaVinci Code.
That's so fascinating.
I know, right? I actually probably will go back. I was thinking about going back and reading his books. But it's like, anyway, I do think that's probably the only reason they kept it in, because there's no plot, like There's no plane. Yeah. He has no problem taking planes.
Yes.
He took a private plane, which is way more cramped than the commercial airliner he took over to London, presumably. Exactly. So, or to Paris. So, just, there's no. But I would say after the armored truck scene, any scene where he would have been, because even
the plane,
he's in the plane, he's in the back of that car, he's in the back of the Volkswagen, and it's like you just go. That's good. So every other scenario that maybe would have been an uncomfortable situation for him, he is it doesn't become so. It's only a plot device in the front half of the movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'll give him a pass on that a little bit.
Add tension, I guess. But yeah.
You talk about though the oh my gosh, you were just talking. I'm paying attention. Active listening is a thing. So I want to talk about the flashback scenes and like the sort of like the
history. Yes.
Everything in the history. The flashback of Sophie is kind of like heavy-handed or whatever. Yeah. But because you were talking, you were talking about how
well the flashback of his like claustrophobia thing.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yes,
but they do a really good job. Oh no, you were talking about Silas. Sorry.
Yes.
And they do a great job of giving me enough backstory.
Yeah.
Of him to understand why he's doing what he's doing.
Yep.
And he's being used.
Yes.
By the church. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
He's a believer, but he's being used by the church.
Yep.
And they do that really good job in maybe like 2 minutes, maybe of
super quick
that
scenes.
kind of thing.
Yes.
I really always look back at maybe taking out Sophie's backstory, just taking out that. Not saying it's bad.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like whatever. All of the like the flashbacks of the Crusades, all of it.
Yeah, like 300 AD or whatever, Constantine. Yes.
Really impressive production design for maybe what amount in a 2.5 hour movie, what maybe amounts to be 10 minutes total,
if
10
that.
minutes
Yes.
of clips.
Yeah.
Really impressive production design when it comes to those flashbacks. And I remember thinking when I rewatched it a few years ago, how impressed I was. Like, these are sort of throwaway scenes. These are literally could have been nothing scenes. And it could have, and they were very grand in scale. Like they're really wide.
Yeah.
Like you get these
like the open square.
Yes.
Yes.
Really, like I just kind of go. I was always, and even in rewatch today, I'm very impressed that they went out of their way to give me, like, that helps paint a grander picture that I assume is, in the books.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but I can see it in just, I'm immediately sort of brought in a post-Gladiator world to these things, and it just sort of fits really well. I really am impressed at the flashbacks in this. Which isn't to say like, oh my God, the movie's bad, because obviously my favorite part was the flashbacks. I'm just saying I'm always impressed with the flashbacks in this, because in any other movie, it would have been a very cheaply produced thing, and everyone would have accepted it because it's just a cheap little sort of thing. They went out of their way to a pretty high damn budget to do that. And it's not AI, because it didn't exist back then.
No.
So I mean, they legitimately would have had to do something.
Well, and we're no fan of Akiva Goldsman.
No.
In the grand scheme of things.
No, this is a fine adaptation. But yeah.
I mean, it's a decent source material, so you're not doing too much heavy lifting.
I mean, this is the same man who adapted The Client, right?
He did. Yes.
Which is basically a word for word adaptation.
Yes.
I can adapt The Client.
Yeah.
Like
so
copy paste.
It works for that, but I will give him some credit for the sake of, when you think of what's on the page and how do we translate this to a modern audience and the screen time it's going to take to like really translate that idea. It does work really well with the flashbacks. I totally agree. And like the whole crusade thing, and you're like, oh, okay. It could have just been a lot of exposition, which it is, but it cannot be the only heavy lifting you do, because an audience at some point is like going to tune out.
Yeah.
And so you got to engage like, oh, quick visual cliff notes.
Very, yeah.
of 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's Goldsman or it's Howard or whatever, and this is arguably probably Akiva Goldsman like best adaptation. I would think adaptation.
Yeah,
I mean, A Beautiful Mind is technically adapted. Yeah, right.
I mean, we wouldn't ask for that,
but I don't think that's a great adaptation,
not,
as we talked about before. And Cinderella Man is a problem. I mean, he's just been, and he did A Time to Kill, which is I think good.
Yeah,
but that's really more of a better source material. And so I think like with how I haven't read it, I get it, but I've read all the other ones for the most part of Dan Brown. There's a lot.
Oh yeah.
Of information.
Oh yeah.
That you have to go through from an adaptation to be like, what am I removing? What am I adding in? Right? I mean, it's like, so I'm not going to give him necessarily props, but I do think like, I agree with you. And like, how do we get all of this stuff?
Yes.
And let's do it in a few little clips along the way. And it actually works pretty well.
I agree. It totally does. And what also was impressive is I forgot how much, like a lesser movie would have had all of the characters talking to each other in an accent, but it would have been English. And so, to the credit of the movie, they use so much subtitling.
Yes, a lot.
It's a lot.
I think this is where Matt. I think we were watching this with Matt. I think this is where
he's like, I'm done.
He's already kind of sick, but yeah, you go. I got to read this movie. The front half of this movie is a lot of subtitles,
and so I'm very impressed that they stuck to it.
Because you have obviously Italian, and then you have French, and then you've got, I assume, Spanish with Melina or whatever. Yeah. It really well.
Yeah.
I agree.
And so it's again, a lesser movie would have been eventually we're going to have them just start speaking just basically some kind of accent.
Yeah. Everyone would have been British.
Yes.
I like that Audrey Tautou and Jean Reno were cast because they went out of their way to bring in known enough at that time French actors to play French characters. And then that just opens up the ability to do that.
Totally agree.
So here's the thing.
We were not taking many notes.
I have them, but it's like they're a little generic. I will say one thing every time when I watch this movie, the front hour, it's not a slog. It just is kind of like, let's get there.
Yeah.
And when Ian McKellen comes on,
the same note,
you're like, oh, this movie just got better.
Oh, thank God. I totally agree.
And you're just like, when Lee comes in, that character, because finally you're being explained where the fucking story is going.
Yes.
Like, you're just like, somebody tell me the goddamn story.
Yes.
And like, it's cool with the Fibonacci sequence and like this. There's little things along the way.
Yeah.
And then you have to nitpick with, let's get back to the fact that apparently a bloody man was just walking around the Louvre for an hour to just leave notes.
Yep.
God forbid. When McKellen gets there, and it's not even that his character is so great.
True.
He's fine. The character's fine. But when the story kicks in.
Yep.
And I will say, all the controversy aside, the story itself is kind of intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
Of the idea of I'm not even going to say spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Did Jesus have an heir?
Yeah.
And so that whole sequence is where you just go, oh, I'm interested in this now.
Yeah.
So what's that, an hour in, basically?
About an hour, yeah.
It's not boring before that. It's not boring.
No.
But it's way too much exposition.
Yes.
It's way too much. Like, just come on. So, when McKellen comes on, that's where you're like, oh, now the movie started.
Yeah.
And so, again, I do feel like they probably could have cut a half hour out of the front hour of this maybe and gotten there. But then I say that, and I think the problem with, say, like an adaptation of Angels and Demons a few years later is it's way too truncated.
Yeah.
So I do like that they actually took their time to get me the story here. So,
and there is that aspect
when he comes in.
Yeah, the same thing. Ian McKellen absolutely elevates him.
And he's great. He is good in this. Everyone's actually good in this, but he's good in it.
Yeah.
But he does sort of elevate it up. Yeah.
Well, and he is that element you're exactly right, to explain to the audience what is this intriguing mystery that you're like, why am I here? And he's so excited about it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, you're at my door.
Yeah.
And this is my life's passion.
Yeah. And little do we know that he maybe put things into.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. It's all like
But okay, but
it works.
Still.
But to his credit, Ian McKellen, he's just, he understands the assignment.
Yeah.
When you watch these movies, you're like, he just elevates material because that sequence. So he comes in and he's, charming as always, as he is. What happens thereafter is so much debriefing when it comes to, all right, we're going to take so many plot threads from what's been happening and tie them all together to reveal, all the lies that might have been told and blah, blah, blah. So it could have been such a slog thereafter. He's exciting. A new character. Great.
Yeah.
But his excitement with it and his ability, again, and to the credit of the filmmakers, balancing it with the scenes from the past, demystifying what the Grail actually does mean, not a cup per se. A lot of downloading has to happen in those 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That would have been
very crucial. Yeah.
Exposition slog.
Yep.
But it totally works. I think in terms of, now, because when you read the book, it's about 2005, 6, internet wasn't quite the thing. You just, and Dan Brown, to his credit, does a good job of explaining these things, but you lose some of the true aspect of what these characters are seeing.
Yeah.
That the movie does benefit by watching it happen.
Yeah.
You're like, Mary Magdalene, they move around, the visuals of things. And so, it's everything absolutely gets better with Ian McKellen.
And I like that. The back half of the movie should be better than the front half.
Yes.
I mean, you give me the setup and then
the reveals, that kind of thing. That reveal makes you think. I do actually think there's a huge problem I have with this movie.
Sure. There's lots of problems. I mean, we could really shit on a whole lot of, some are nitpicky, some are, big, but
But I think, again, if you somehow haven't seen it or read it, fine. But spoiler.
Whatever. At this point.
When they reveal who the big teacher villain is.
I agree.
It's so sloppy.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. They could have kept him, I think, in an ideal world, McKellen's character, he's people don't look at what's right in front of them type of thing. You're like, okay, that's pretty heavy-handed. Stop doing that. But the fact that he kills his butler, and then we see him do it.
Yeah.
You're like, don't do that.
Yeah.
You could have kept him hidden until maybe who knows what. But later when he does have a slip with Sophie to be like, oh, yeah, your grandfather said this. She was like, if we could have had the reveal with them, the audience and the characters find out together.
Yeah.
That's what works.
Yes, she sees the cane marks in the dust. That would have been enough.
Yes,
everything could have been off screen. He could have been killed, and he could have a phone could have been grabbed and just beep beep beep, and then it cuts to Interpol or whoever saying we just received a call saying whatever. Yeah, you did not need to see him in that moment.
No,
of saying I know where two killers are.
Yes,
they could have just said we received a call. We've heard that the killers, the two killers are at whatever house.
Yes.
You're like, wait, that seems odd.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know it was
the
him.
Intrigue could have been extended.
Yes. The reveal absolutely could have been in the church or whatever they were.
So terrible because it's...
Because even he says to them, I called myself teacher or whatever. That whole scene could have been like, oh... All right. Now I'm getting information download like I did in his mansion. I'm getting this information now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an empty reveal.
It's just because you get the whole earlier piece of there's definitely some teacher element. It's not the big Opus Dei guy, clearly not Silas.
Yeah.
So it's going to be some of these characters that we haven't really kind of clarified so far. You kind of figure it's going to be, but it just is so
visually, you could have almost had a cane or a shadow of a cane.
Yes.
When he reached to grab the phone.
Yeah.
And you could even have seen the cane. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Because the reveal actually is only a few minutes away from that.
True.
So it's not like it's, half the movie away. Yeah, the reveal is very, very poor.
It's really unfortunate. Yep. Yes. So, I just think that when the audience figures it out, the characters, that's when it's best. I mean, I think of Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
When They figured out like all these twists that happen. You're like, oh, when we figured out with the characters, that's the best.
Yeah.
When it's just like, hey, audience, you know now. It's like, it's too bad.
I think my I have problems with the movie, and I will say one of many. It's like this movie is just slightly off, and I mean that like Hanks is good, but he's not the best choice for the role.
I agree.
I don't think he's terrible, but he's fine. He's marketable. Ron Howard's a marketable director. Like, everything about this movie feels like exactly what a movie studio would do.
Yeah.
They put $100 million into it or whatever. Like, they did it. The vibe, to me, is more dramatic than I think Dan Brown's books come across as. Not to say, like, it's swashbuckling, but he's much more... All of his books, even, like, the Inferno and Origin, which are, like, end-of-the-world type stories, are not... as serious as this movie makes it out to be.
Totally.
So I really get frustrated with like the vibe, and it doesn't have to quite be National Treasure, but it needs to get closer to that.
Yeah.
You're right. Like National Treasure is a fun little romp. I fucking love that movie.
It's so absurd.
Like it's a fun little romp down the same kind of idea. We're following clues through history.
Yeah.
And we're going to get to this thing.
Yeah.
Even with a huge reveal of who Sophie is, which actually is a good reveal. But it's like, there's just the whole thing feels very studio made.
Yeah.
And I just think it's just missed. I don't know who could have written or directed it better, quote unquote.
Sure.
Like an indie film director or whatever. I could look back at who were the hot directors of the time.
J.J. Abrams.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, it'd be a whole lot of like light flare. Yeah.
Sorry.
So
I agree. It's just
off.
Feels
a little
cookie
bit.
cutter.
Yes, it's not
It's just
bad.
No.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
But it's just not great. And so the whole vibe of the movie to me, the whole way is like I'm watching the book.
Yeah.
But I'm not necessarily enjoying it. I don't know. It's just so weird to me. And part of that goes to the adaptation, and I'll pause to let you respond. But
well, I agree.
So
like
I had a note on adaptation I forgot to talk about. But
it's just a vibe thing.
Yes.
And you just go like, this feels so like boilerplate, cookie cutter, all these different, cheesy adages.
And I guess I guess it's like they're trying to present it as an important piece of cinema.
Yes.
Or whatever. And you're like, or this is just a piece of fiction. Like, I mean, they're presenting it in such a way that's like, we know this is important.
Yes.
It was a huge phenomenon, and we're going to make this important. So it's just the whole time. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, that's true. There's a weird, like, self-importance to it.
It doesn't feel lived in. The world doesn't feel lived in.
Yeah.
It just feels like, okay.
The big secret.
Yeah. I don't know. It's the whole time. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only had one more note about.
Okay.
Talked about, like,
well,
Zimmer.
I'm gonna move into, before we go to Zimmer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move into the adaptation again, just because I want to talk about, like, we talked about Project Hail Mary earlier.
Yep.
And I think this movie is a great example of one that gets the story right. If you read the book, it gets the story right. Right? I mean, there it is. But it just misses the heart of what the book. I haven't read it, but I know Dan Brown.
Yeah.
Personally. It just misses the mark
Yeah.
on what the theme you were trying to do here.
Yep.
And where Project Hail Mary is so good is it adapts it, cuts plenty. It cuts as much as DaVinci Code does.
Tons.
Cuts tons. There's a nuke in Antarctica, for God's sake. But like all kinds of stuff gets cut.
Yeah.
But what you do is you've whittled it down to the core of the story. And what's missing from this, I think, is exactly that. It's why the adaptation of Angels and Demons isn't as good as the book. It's like, and I do think Angels and Demons is the best Dan Brown movie.
Yes.
It's also the best book.
Best book.
But I'm just saying, like, from a movie standpoint, it's probably better than this and definitely Inferno. But I think, like, what's missing with these adaptations is just that I don't care what you pull away. I don't care what you strip away. I don't care any of it.
Yeah.
But what you can't strip away is the feeling, the core story, and the core of the theme, the message you're trying to do. And this movie does exactly that, where it rips away enough to gloss it over that the centralized theme and the feel of the book gets lost.
Yeah.
And that's why the adaptation of Hail Mary is just so impressive.
Yeah.
Because you take all of this information and you bring it down in such a way that now I don't feel like people who, I don't know. People who haven't read the book can still enjoy the movie.
Correct.
And I haven't read DaVinci Code, and I do enjoy this movie, but I do feel like there's just that vibe difference between the two.
It's funny to actually talk about that. The complicated, crazy, insane science of Project Hail Mary.
Yeah.
And the, aspects of inter-alien connection dialogue. Yes, it is distilled down to what the perfect elements are, and they work with that, and they flesh out a great movie. And so when someone says, "Oh, there's so much complex and like convoluted things, Dan Brown, how do you ever adapt it?" Well, you just got to get a better screenwriter.
Yes,
that's how it is.
Drew Goddard is incredible.
He gets it with that
adapter.
assignment.
And here it was like they wanted to get Ron Howard, and my guess is Ron Howard said, "I want Akiva Goldsman to write it."
Exactly.
Ron Howard probably signed on no problem.
Yes.
And he probably wanted Akiva.
1,000%.
Somebody else could have written this.
Yes.
Or adapted this
to really get down to the core of it.
Yeah.
And how do we translate that? Because they do a lot of just brushing past these things.
Yes.
But you don't ever feel connected.
No. Because there's a central, I know you have one more theme, but there's a central question here that does not get asked until the very end, which is, what would you do if you knew this, if you had this knowledge to say that Christ had a descendant, which in the course over 2,000 years would have been many descendants, but theoretically, as alluded to with Alfred Molina's character, they've trimmed the branches before.
Yes.
This has happened before. This is not new. So in theory, we're talking about the last descendant, right? What would you do in that scenario if you knew? There's a fundamentally, McKellen has made his choice. He thinks it's better for society. But is it? Is it better to ruin half of society, half of the world's belief in order to embolden the other half?
Yeah.
There's a really huge moral conundrum here.
Yeah.
That gets glossed over.
Yes.
And you're like, boy, that is a huge fundamental thing.
Yeah.
That just because I don't know, what would you do? It's her choice.
Yeah.
I guess, Christ's great granddaughter gets to choose it.
Yes.
And so it's such poor writing because it just leaves the real hook on the floor.
Yeah.
So,
well, we talked about it a little bit, but again, the ending of the book is very different than the movie.
Yes. Yeah.
And what they are outlined for Sophie's character and the family connections, that it doesn't fully play out in the book as much as that type of weight of what would you do with it? But it sets her up in a better position of being able to grapple with that weight of it because of the connections that have now been made from her family. And
it would not have been ridiculous for the grandmother to be like, I'm your grandmother. And, and bring in the brother.
Yes.
And just be like, at that moment, be like, and now here's your brother. Because clearly they lied about the daughter.
Yes.
Why couldn't they lie about the son?
Exactly.
And so it literally could have just been like, and now here you go.
Yeah.
Here's the
son.
The
little guard.
Yeah. That guy could have been the
son.
Could have
been the brother. Yes.
Yes, the brother. Son.
Yeah.
It just would have been, you didn't need to be more than that. It just... Yeah. God, this whole movie is a great example of a movie that just misses greatness.
Because then it just feels like a similar version of this clandestine type of entity that's trying to hide these things.
Yeah,
and it's just it's just a variation of what you're trying to fight against. You have to have a personal connection to these things. So it's just, I agree. It just misses so much of that vibe. Despite the fact that, again, I did not think it was as bad as I remember it being.
I would watch this again anytime.
Yeah.
It's a movie that if it were on HBO, so like if I'd have no problem watching this movie. Yeah. I have one other point, but you have yours. So
I just think it's a first time we've seen a Howard movie with Zimmer as the composer.
Yeah, man.
And it's just a fine score.
I think it's fine, but I think it's better than a movie like this deserves. There's so many
the themes later on are great.
The back half of this movie has great themes.
Yeah.
It's really back-ended. It's heavy on the back for really great themes. But I just look at it we've talked about, I think, off air, and I listened to it today while researching. The score for Casper is incredible. Casper the Ghost. It's an incredible
That's Horner, right?
theme. It's Horner.
Yeah.
You're it's an incredible theme.
Yeah.
And you just go, there's so many movies that the score is this is way better than what you did not need. You did not need to bring it this way, good sir.
Yeah.
And
Way
Zimmer
too much.
is notorious for that.
Yeah.
He's just like The Lion King, for example.
I was just about to say that.
You think The Lion King does not need to come as hard as it does.
No.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
But it does not need to bring that to the party, and it is just outright incredible.
So incredible, yes.
And that's just Zimmer's just guess what I could do, motherfuckers.
Exactly, yeah. Yes.
And this is 10 years on after,
It's
13
so good.
years on
Yeah.
after.
So, it's fine. It gets way better than the end. Yeah.
But I think it just didn't need to be. There's no we're in our happy hour. We're going to talk about Mission Impossible 3. Mission Impossible oftentimes has sort of the front part is very Mission Impossible classic, dun 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 dun, and then in the back half has really decent scores.
Yeah.
And same kind of thing. I don't even know the guy off the top of my head who did the score for the 3, but you're better than that score in 3 is actually pretty solid in the back half of it. It takes themes that are really good. It does this. And my point is, it's kind of fun to watch us. I think Zimmer does a pretty good job.
Yeah, it's fun
for a pretty minimal movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I enjoyed the score. I really like the theme in the back 10 minutes there.
Yeah.
The heavy violin, really well done.
And like I joked, it gets much better in Dark Knight, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. I have one last point.
Yep.
If there is a book series that needs to be an HBO or Netflix TV series, I think now is the time to put Langdon.
Yeah.
I know The Lost Symbol had a Peacock version or whatever, but you got Tom Clancy, Jack Ryan series.
Oh yeah, you got Ryan, you got Reacher.
You get Reacher, you got this, I think now is the time for one of those streamers to say, we're going to do a season of Angels and Demons be first, and then do them in order. Angels and Demons, DaVinci Code, etc. Yeah. I think now's the time to get me a 10 to 12, maybe 10 episode season.
I think 10 would be good.
There's a ton of information in these books that can come out that really can hash out.
Even 8 episodes.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I think,
really flesh it out.
I think I'd rather have that than the Harry Potter reboot, which actually looks pretty cool, but I'd rather have
totally agree.
This because there's so much more that you can do, especially with Angels and Demons.
Yes.
I really wish they would bring in some sort of
I'd be down for that.
I would too. You good?
Yep.
Cool. God, that's
I'm going up there. I'm going to try it. I'm going to let the jury decide.
As we close out our spotlight segment, we come to our final takes called The Verdict.
If we are to have faith and justice, we need only to believe in ourselves.
This is where Tim and I give our final verdicts after rewatching the film and decide whether or not the movie held up over the course of 2 decades.
Now you get out of here before I call the bailiff and have you thrown in jail.
This is The Verdict.
I said to hell with it, to hell with it.
So, having reread the book last year, oddly enough,
I've seen the movie, and you've taken the time
I went down
to
the Dan Brown rabbit hole.
Wait, did you listen to it?
No.
Oh, you actually read it?
I did
with
read
your
it,
eyes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they go pretty fast. What struck me watching this tonight is that in the book, it's definitely in all of them. It's driven by how the reader feels compelled to match wits with Langdon to figure out the details before others do, or even he does. While in the film, it's a lot of exposition and explanation without any of that intrigue. And I think that's what I feel like maybe that vibe is, where it's like, I'm just along for the ride in the movies, less, I might be able to figure it out before them. Which is, it's fine. It's just an okay then aspect when it comes to film adaptation. With decent direction by Ron Howard, it's fine. It's just, thank you for showing up. Stellar work, actually. Sir Ian McKellen, kudos. Like, elevates everything that he's in. Even a surprisingly kind of bland Tom Hanks. He's not miscast per se. He's just there, which is weird to say for Tom Hanks. DaVinci Code is a middle-of-the-road historical mystery that I remember being far worse than it actually is. So, happy we watched it again. 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm much happier we watched this than like Lucky Number 11.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Idiocracy.
Yeah, exactly. For me, The Da Vinci Code is a movie that I think is better than people gave it credit for. Yet also, I can understand why people did not like it. Everyone involved, from Hanks to Howard, McKellen to Tito, are on point. They're good. The score, the visuals, the flashbacks, and the production are all doing well. Yet there is something missing throughout the entire film. It feels like an adaptation for adaptation's sake. It just does not have the heart or fun of what you would want it to be. I enjoy this movie, but I do not love it, and definitely think it could have been better in different hands than Howard and Akiva Goldsman. Yet, I enjoy it, and think it's a good time, and would agree with Ebert in his film review at a 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4. I have 3 out of 5, but I think we have a different scale. It's a good time, it's enjoyable, but it's just not what it could have been.
Yep.
So I have 3 out of 5 on mine.
Nice.
So, yep.
Come on, not my beer.
With our reactions and verdicts to the movie out of the way, we move on to the reactions to our beers that we drank while rewatching our subject movie.
And if you want to have sex with a disgusting bad brewer with a terrible attitude,
this is where we take a look back at our beers and give our expert ratings for our drinking buddies.
ugh, whatever. Hey, here's the truth.
This is Drinking Buddies.
Let's get weird.
So,
what do we got for Drinking
well, we
Buddies?
had a few options tonight.
Yeah, man. We had 5
we had 2.5.
in the end. Yeah.
Had some stuff to split, so I figured we can have some more.
I'm not driving home.
I was actually pretty happy with some of our themes that we worked out.
The themes were
for
good.
this.
Pretty happy. You texted me like an eggplant emoji.
I'm very happy.
It was just like, oh God, look
it
at
hit
this.
me like a revelation. So we started the evening with Surly Brewing out of Minneapolis. Their Extra Citra Pale Ale, which was discontinued supposedly a few years ago. And we're like, what? So yeah, it's a nice,
like Pale Ale, right?
You're like, why would you take this away? It's a 3.75. It's just a solid option.
Yeah,
like it's a nice non-IPA option that isn't shitty. And it's just like, again, you throw citron stuff, it's great. 3.75.
But why did they get rid of it?
I have no idea.
No,
right?
like I had no idea it was back. Did you randomly just see it at the liquor store?
I walked by, I'm like, the fuck is this? I thought you were dead.
I agree. I have 3.75. I have no more notes on what top. I'm like, it's not. I wish it's not as good as I remember it. I remember liking it more.
Yeah,
I will say, but it was like, oh, okay, this is good, and I would like it to be around come June or July.
Yeah,
it'd be a nice little fireside
summer beer. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
and then another option that, again, walking through the store recently, it was like, you were gone for a while. Mosaic Promise from Founders out of Michigan, which I must admit, I will say, this was on, for those paying attention, a Happy Hour episode back in 2020 before we actually called them Happy
nobody
Hour.
come out to us.
Yes. So I was like, oh, you've been gone. You're coming back. So it's their Mosaic Promise IPA. It's a 3.75. Again, I must say, I don't know that again, hindsight, loving memory. I felt like, I remember it being more like hoppier mosaic.
Yes.
Almost like a 300 type of thing.
Yes.
This was pretty subdued. Still nice, but I was like, I don't know why I used to crave this so much when it came out.
It's 3.5 for me. I was disappointed. I think it can be sent back from whence it came.
Yeah.
Like, it's not bad, but
I was expecting more.
Yes. And I mean, it's mass produced, but so is 300, and so is Sweet Child of Vine, and so are these other like IPAs that use mosaic, and you're like, you're way better.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. But it wasn't. I will say, like, my initial review of Extra Citra was 3.5. And I was like, and then I had the Founders. It's like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, that's better than this. So it bumped it up a little bit.
Terribly sorry about that. And then it's been a while since we've had a sour.
It's been a while.
And so walking through the store, I was like, I gotta find a sour, but I don't want
been a while. Yeah,
multi-pack.
Yep.
And I was like, hey, all right, you're tall boys. We gotta split them.
Mm-hmm.
450 North Brewing Company out of where was it again? Indiana, Columbus. Their Maize Machete. Kind of a dumb name, but whatever. The slushy.
Considering the beer we're talking about, that is a terrible name.
Yeah, exactly. Like it had nothing to do with the actual.
Maize Machete would be a fucking great IPA name.
Yes, but this is like
That implies hops and barley and okay.
It's a smoothie style sour ale with, buckle up, tangerine, cherry, blueberry, and cheesecake, fruity cereal, and graham cracker flavors.
Cheesecake, fruity cereal.
Yeah, and they're like, we'll just throw everything in here. Oddly enough, we talked about it became this like
I'm not gonna lie, man.
Grape flavor.
Yeah, I think it was my favorite beer of the episode.
It was a 4.25.
Yeah,
same. It was really good.
Yeah, because a lot of times a beer like that actually diminishes.
Yes.
You get the initial like, oh, I get this initial graham cracker flavor and the cinnamon or whatever. You're
so
like,
overwhelming.
this is cool. But you're like, oh, I get it now. And then you keep drinking, and it gets heavier and heavier or more syrupy.
Yeah,
it was crushable, man.
I was like, we could have actually had one each.
Could have had one each. Like,
yes.
Normally, I'm all on board on thick sours. Like, we've had plenty of them. Like, if we did an end of the year beer episode this year, which we didn't do this last time around, and none of it, that might be high on the list of sours. It was really good. I said it before, and when we were off, it tasted to me like the purple Tootsie Pop.
Yes.
Like, it had the exact flavor of the purple Tootsie Pop, which was obviously my favorite.
How do you get that from, again,
I know,
tangerine, cherry, and blueberry?
Maybe they did.
So, like, let's go with that.
I don't know if it was grape. I know, like, purple always assumes grape, but I don't even ever said it. It said grape on there.
Yeah.
I thought it was outstanding.
It was very,
That's
very
the best
good.
sour I've had in a while.
Yeah, indeed. And then Brewhaven out of the old facility that used to be Lakes and Legends in Minneapolis, for those paying attention. Their Minneapolitan House IPA. It was just fine. It was like a 3.5. It was like, okay, it wasn't hazy. It was maybe coming off the sour.
Yeah, I think that's what it was for me too. Yeah,
but I didn't want to have it before the stout. I will say that, or the sour before the stout. But yeah, it was fine.
I had 3.75, and I think I gave him a pass for being a relatively new brewery that I've never had before.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, this is actually okay. It was fine.
It's much more like bitter, kind of traditional style.
It was good.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, it was fine.
And then had the
yes, here you go.
So the other options
so far we've had
aside from
beers.
Aside from the sour, that I just wanted a sour. Yeah. That's fine. But the other ones were ones that hit me in the store where I was like, wait, these beers were like,
come on now, just say it.
Killed off.
Yes, and
the location for Brewhaven, their brewery died, and all of these have been resurrected.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that was like, oh, I'm doing that, and then I saw this, and I was like,
Speaking of resurrected,
Evil Town Brewing out of Vermont, I want to say, Connecticut.
Yeah,
so close. Even more Jesus, and I literally was like, okay, you're in my cart right now. You're come home with me. Their Imperial Stout, which is again 12%. So
black.
Thank you for sharing with me. It's a 4.25. It's a really nice stout, man. I like this a lot.
I do too. I think I'm at a 4.25 as well. But if I had to I think the sour is the best beer of the night.
Yeah, that's most like refreshing and
I think that's what it is. Even more Jesus, like the moment you drink it, you're like, oh,
yep,
I'm sipping this for a while.
Yeah,
this is not
got to work on it.
Yeah, so it is good though.
Yeah,
it is. I'm not a huge
Evil Town.
Evil. I always want to say Evil Twin. It's Evil Town.
Is it?
It's Evil Twin.
No, it is Twin. Yeah, Evil Twin.
It's
Yep.
Evil Twin.
Yep.
I'm a huge fan of their beers. It's fine, but I'm kind of like that's a good solid stout.
Yep.
Perfect. Let's remember which button to do for quiz show. Here we go. Yeah.
The exciting quiz program 21.
Our final segment of the episode is quiz show.
I have stood on the shoulders of life, and I've never gotten down into the dirt to build.
Where in our research for our subject film, we find some interesting trivia nuggets that we hope will stump the other and possibly intrigue you.
This is not McCarthyism. You're not here to expose for the sake of exposure.
This is Quiz Show.
Well, evidently certain of the contestants were given the answers in advance.
Cheating on a quiz show. It's like plagiarizing a comic strip.
What do you got, Tim? I have 3.
Jesus, you're so much better than I am. I have 1.
Well, I have like 2 kind of basic ones and 1 fun one. So
Ooh.
I will go first.
Okay.
I don't want to like stomp on yours though. So
We'll
why don't you go first?
Just in case. All right. French actor Jean.
Nope, so immediately,
okay,
we're not crossing streams.
Cool.
So do you want to go first still?
No, I don't.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Because mine has nothing to do with genre.
Sweet.
All right. How many Langdon books are there, Tim?
Oh shit. Angels and Demons.
Yep.
DaVinci Code. Inferno.
Yep.
Origins.
Yep.
And I think there's one recent I have not. I'm gonna say 5.
That's incorrect. Because you left out the Lost Symbol.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Which we already talked about.
Yes.
And the new one is Secret of Secrets. Came out last year.
Yes.
Which I have heard actually positive things about, and I'm debating on going
Lost
to
Symbol.
read
Jesus
it.
Christ.
Yeah,
But
but
I just read that
6
last year.
total.
6. Nice.
Langdon books.
Ah, so stupid.
I'm gonna ask you one more along those lines, because then you've got your one. How many times have Ron Howard and Tom Hanks worked together?
Okay.
And I mean director, actor.
Yeah.
Not producer. I didn't look at any of that shit. Yeah.
Well,
How many?
Splash.
Yeah.
Apollo 13.
Yeah.
The 3 Langdon movies.
Yeah.
I got it. I think that's it. I'm gonna say 5.
That is correct. I wasn't sure if you would get to Splash. That's why I kept it in
yeah,
there.
no, yeah.
I was gonna be like,
yeah.
Apollo 13 we've covered, and maybe whatever. So
I remember them
5,
like, yeah.
5 total. Nice. All right, go ahead.
Whew, lucked out. French actor Jean Reno likely became pretty well known to American audiences in 1994 as The Professional.
Yes.
And 2 years later, he would star opposite one of Hollywood's biggest actors in 1996, first installment of what long-running franchise?
I love Godzilla.
That's not my question.
Oh,
That's
what?
great. Yeah, no, 1996.
Oh, obviously Mission Impossible.
There you go.
But I'm just saying.
I agree.
I thought you were talking about
No,
that's also
no.
a different franchise.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yes.
because that was in actually was in 96 or 97.
I had no idea about that.
He's in Godzilla with Matthew Broderick. He's the
that would have been
French-
great trivia.
Yeah, man.
No, I had no idea. No,
Well,
I'm
either
like,
way. All right, I gave myself dings either way.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tee this up for our happy hour. Yep.
No, man. Yeah, I mean, obviously, yes, Mission Impossible.
Yes.
I actually love that first Godzilla.
I should watch it again.
Dude, it's so bad. But it's
I mean,
so good.
They're all
I
kind
remember
of
seeing
bad in
it.
their own way.
Oh, they're all bad.
Yes.
The newer ones are fucking garbage, but they're
just,
still
like,
fun.
yes.
I remember seeing that in the theater with Andy Davey and being like, this is... all right. It was a good time.
That's right, bro.
All right.
Good.
Okay, so Tom Hanks was not the only Oscar-winning or nominated actor considered for the role of Langdon. George Clooney, Russell Crowe, Ralph Fiennes, and Hugh Jackman were all considered. But one non-Oscar winner or nominee was first envisioned by Howard in the role of Langdon. You with me so far?
Sure.
What Apollo 13, You're Welcome star did Howard see as Langdon?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Kevin Bacon?
Incorrect.
I mean,
you obviously
please don't tell me Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton is correct.
What?
DaVinci is the only thing like Da Vinci. Vinci.
Game over, man.
Game over. It's game over for Jacques Saulier, man.
Oh my
That's
God.
Who, yes.
What?
I included it just so I could
That's
say
so
DaVinci.
yeah. That would have been
so
an
bad.
interesting
It was so bad.
portrayal.
With that, like,
wow.
Actually, Bill Paxton would have been fine if it was more like National Treasure.
Yes.
On the fun side of this.
Yes.
Like, it would have been, okay, fine.
Yeah.
But it...
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, God, I loved it. I read that. I was like, wait, what? Da Vinci? Okay. Where am I at here? There we go.
That's good.
All right, well, that brings us to the end of the episode. Stay tuned for our upcoming happy hour on Mission Impossible 3. And watch out for future episodes on, I believe, Little Miss Sunshine and Prairie Home Companion.
Yep.
Good. Find us
right.
on the web via Threads and head to 20years4beers.com for more info. We want to say thank you for taking the time to listen and for clicking that like or subscribe button on your devices. This has been 20 Years 4 Beers. My name is Steve.
I'm Tim.
And thanks for listening.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
It just is so
even visually, because finally you're being explained where the fucking story is going.
Yes.
I guess, Christ's great
Yeah.
granddaughter gets to choose it.
Yes.
Da Vinci is the only thing I like.
Da Vinci.
Da Vinci.
Game over, man.